Hi, I'm Jann from Audio Technica, the UK distributor for Allen and Heath. We're here today at DJ Tech Direct to take a look at the Xone DB4, but most importantly, the latest announcement from the NAMM 2015 show from Allen and Heath is the fact that the DB4 and the DB2 are now ready for Serato upgrade, and they are upgrade ready. So, without further ado, let's take a little bit more of an in-depth look here and see what's going on. Okay, so in this second video we've done here for DJ Tech Direct, we're going to take a look at the Xone DB4. Obviously, some of you may have already seen the DB2 video, which we did about 6 months ago, but wanted to sort of give you a bit of a refresher really on the DB4, but in particular talk about the Serato DJ upgrade certification, which has just been announced at the Winter NAMM. So, really important mixer in the range. It offers a hell of a lot of functionality really in a really, compact format. So, it's a digital mixer, fundamentally. So a lot of you will be familiar with the Xone series already and the analog mixers that they do. But the DB4 and the DB2 are both digital mixers. I will add that the DB2 and the DB4 both have the new certification for the upgrade path for Serato DJ as well. So they are upgrade ready, which is a really cool option. We'll come back to that a little bit later on. So first of all, I'll give you more of an overview of the DB4. Okay, so it is a 4-channel music channels, but we also have a 5th channel here for our mic. Now, we've got lots of different routing options. Now, that's handled via an input matrix, which is along the top here. So we can easily select from all kinds of sources, whether that be an analog source, on a record, USB mode. Now, this is where, obviously, we're using Serato DJ. We can now use a control vinyl here, because this is now with the DVS upgrade, which we've got running here as well. So also we've got a digital input. So for example, if you've got a CD or media player, you can connect up the SPDIF connection on the rear there, and then you can easily switch between any of the above sources, which I think makes this a really powerful way of working. We'll come back to that in a little bit, just to sort of give you more of an idea of how you can use that creatively. In the same way that the DB2 has a tri-modal EQ, here we have a tri-modal EQ, but it's actually switchable per channel. Now notice as I do that, it changes colour. So in the top position, it's in isolator mode, and that's a full kill. So I move my hand. In EQ mode, it goes red, and that goes down to -26 dB. But when we go into the bottom mode, that then becomes a filter. So this becomes your low pass and this becomes your high pass filter. With the middle one, which is red, that actually then becomes our resonance as well. So really simple way of working with sort of lots of different ideas of EQ there. But I said I find myself using the isolator more, but again, it's personal preference really, but it just gives you a lot of options. I must stress that the DB2 does that globally, whereas the DB4 will do it per channel. Next up, we've got a really powerful looper. Now, it will do 4-bar looping on every channel, on every of these 4 channels, shall we say. Really neat feature if you're working with vinyl. Now, notice here, you'll start seeing a beat clock being sensed. So now that little LED that's flashing on the screen here, that's saying, yep, I'm receiving my beat, I'm working out the clock. This will also correspond to what's going on, and actually we're at 122, 123 roughly on the BPM here. So we'll actually send that MIDI information, and that clock information, should I say, to your computer. So if you're using this at the hub of a live set, it really can be a nice little option there as well. Obviously, because it does have the beat sensing, it really helps when you want to make a loop. So now we're looping there. Now, if I literally just stop this quickly, I'll stop this record. Again, it's a bit out of shot, so I've actually just stopped the record. The record's not moving now, but the loop's still present. So those really powerful, and a lot of DJs that are sort of saying we really love software, but when we're using our analog sources, we still want to be able to get that connectivity. And to deactivate the loop, all we need to do is just press it again and it clears it. So a really simple way of working. Next up on each channel, and again, in addition to the DB2, which has two, like an X and a Y effect, the DB4 actually has an effects unit per channel. So we've got 4 effects units, which, as I said, really makes it a class leader, really, in this price range. Really, really powerful effects. Now, the effects are straight from the fantastic Alan and Heath iLive team. So although they are DJ and beat specific, so you're going to get something that's relevant to a DJ performance, you really do have lots of different flavors of effect. They're categorized into 5 different options. So, for example, we've got delays, reverbs, resonator, modulation, and damage. Now, to select different effects, all you do is hit the select, and then we can easily choose different types of delay. So at the moment, I'm using the fat Q, which is a nice wide Q that you can sweep on that delay. So if I just put that on now to give you an example, so the bass out so it's not all horrible. So notice I'm actually affecting the channel audio by simply turning the effect on and then using the dry wet amount. Nice and easy to use knob there. But we can easily then start taking that effect even further by using things like the time parameters and actually sweep the EQ spectrum. And I said, because it's got a really nice wide Q, listen to how that delay is moving through as I'm manipulating that. I've said it before and I'll say it again, it really isn't set and forget, this mixer. You know, really get hands-on with effects. I mean, to show you some of the sort of things that can be achieved. So you notice how I'm actually sweeping through now. You can constantly manipulate that, just making something very, very unique. It's really, really easy to get going with it. Okay, so next up, as I said, we've got the sort of effects control. Expression, I will mention now, that effectively is like your secondary function for the effect. So, for example, if it's on a delay, that could be your feedback amount. Now, if I take that channel out, we've set it up to be post-fade, but listen to how much that just goes on and on. Really, really nice. Just regenerating that feedback. If it was on a reverb, maybe, that could be a low cut. So we sweep it. So that low cut's now the reverb. Now, as I said, we've set it up to be post-fade. Again, one of the latest firmware updates gives that functionality. So if you press select in menu, now we can set up our effects to be post or pre at the click of a switch. Really, really simple to work with. Let me just turn that off. Okay, so those of you familiar with the sort of standard 92, the club standard, shall we say, Xone 92, you'll be really at home on the DB series, but in particular DB4. We've got an X and a Y sort of set up here with our filter, with a legendary Xone filter. So again, if I just put that on now, play some audio. So you've got high pass, low pass, and then obviously band as well, which is a mix of both really. So really, really good fun to get going with that. You've got your mild to wild, so you still get that real classic Xone resonance that you get and a lot of DJs favour over a lot of other mixers. So really, really nice to use and easily laid out. Okay, so at the heart of the DB series, but in particular Xone DB4, we've got a 16-channel sound card built into it. So at the moment, on the rear here, we've just got a USB connection to my Mac on the right. And this is obviously handles all of the sort of input and output for this desk to a computer. Now, obviously with the Serato DJ upgrade ready certification, which has just come and just been announced, it really utilises this very, very high quality sound card which is built into the DB4 and the DB2. The DB4 difference between DB2 is the fact that this goes to 96K, so a really good quality professional sound card. So a lot of people can use this in the studio as well as using it in a DJ performance or club environment as well. So the way that these 16 channels are handled, we've got 4 stereo sort of sends, but also 4 stereo returns back from our computer. So at the moment, if I go to my USB routing, which is just easily accessed via the menu, Here we've got 4 different send options. Now you can customize that completely as you want. As we're using Serato DJ here, we want to be able to make sure that our send 2 and send 3 is sending our analog input. So the physical analog input from the turntables are now being sent directly to the computer. So if I just go into analog, you'll hear the time code from the disc, there we are. But obviously when I switch it to USB, now it's bypassing that routing, going straight into Serato DJ. Serato DJ is now sending that audio back, so our audio that's playing directly in there is now what we're actually going to hear. And there we have it, that is actually, you know, our audio. So again, to just show you, analog, so we can play our record. Maybe we've got a different vinyl in our set, and then we want to go back to using the computer. You simply switch from the analog to the USB, and it's simple as that. Okay, so on the right of the DB4, we've got the Xone K1. Now, Serato have actually made this an official accessory, which can now be incorporated into your Serato DJ setup. So at the moment, I've got this handling mainly my looping and things like that for my performance. So here we've got our audio playing. We can activate a loop by using the encoders at the top, and then the loop length, etc. It also takes care of when you're in internal mode, you can also then do things like playback for the other decks as well. So it gives you lots and lots of different options there. So as I said, with the Xone K1 handling things like loops, cues, etc. like that, the effects all handled from the DB4, and the powerhouse that is the DB4 alongside an existing vinyl or DVS system really makes this a very, very powerful setup. So that's the overview of the mixer and the controller here. Now obviously we've got the Audio-Technica LP1240 USB decks connected here, so we're easily able to sort of use these to be able to play regular vinyl or maybe our DVS system. Okay, so without further ado, let's see this in operation. Check the link beneath the video for more information about Xone DB4, but also the Serato DJ upgrade options from DJ Tech Direct. Thanks very much.